Welcome to On the Homefront. My name is John Murphy, and I'm very happy to be here with you once again. You might be catching us live on the radio at WILI in Willimantic at AM 1400 and 95.3 on the FM. We're also on YouTube, as you can see. The radio station has a dedicated channel for all of their shows. Just go to the WILI radio channel, and we're here with all of our programs. And one of the nice things is our guests will get links so they can share their stories in their own networks to help them grow their base for membership and fundraising. Also, I'm very happy to announce very soon we're going to be airing on WICH in Norwich, which covers Norwich into London. It's a sister station in Hull Broadcasting. I think next Friday is our first day at 11 o'clock in the mornings. Just found out about that today. So we're very happy to have our program reach more people across Connecticut. So we have a busy show today. We're going to close with Karen Warinsky and another in her series of live poetry events. She has events coming up at Roseland Cottage, and the Vanilla Bean series continues. Also, we're going to look at Make Music Day, which is a global music celebration on the solstice. And we have Baird here from the Southeastern and the Northeastern Coalition. She'll be talking about that and the events happening across our region. That's coming up on the solstice. And right now we're going to open today with the Putnam Arts Council. I'm very happy to have David Sullivan back on the show. He is the president of the council. He's in his third year of service. David, good to have you back in the house.
Thanks for having me, John. I'm happy to be here once again.
Yep, and we're going to talk about a festival across town on the 23rd and 24th. And also with David is an artist, Laura Tedeschi. She's an artist. She's going to be part of the show, and she's also doing other programs with the arts in the region as well. And this is her first visit, so welcome to the studio, Laura.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Excited to talk about arts in the whole eastern Connecticut region.
All right. So let's get right off with David now and kind of preview this special event again coming up in Putnam on the 23rd and 24th.
Great. Thanks, John. So this is our second annual Putnam Fine Arts and Crafts Festival. Like you said, it's going to be the weekend of June 22nd and 23rd.
Okay.
The Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4 both days. Like I said, this is our second annual one. So last year we had right around 50 vendors, but we've increased that number to 70. There's 70 juried artists that kind of cover a range in mediums from painting to ceramics, fiber, paper, wood, you name it, and I think we're going to have some artists there. We're really advertising it as kind of a day in Putnam that you can come, enjoy our arts event in town, and then continue on down to downtown Putnam and take a look at some of the other galleries in town and grab some food and hang out for the day or the weekend if you'd like.
That's right. It's been nice to have David and other people from the council over the years. They've done so much work in recent times to build the downtown community, whether it's cultural events, art shows, helping local businesses. It's really nice to see towns transform their economies. And I want to ask Laura, she's experimenting with this festival because she's been doing her art for a while, but she has done gallery work, but not a booth, trying to deal into that space when you're interacting with people at a show. So welcome to the world of art and boothing, as it were.
Thank you. I guess. We'll see.
And it's nice to hear people and their journey for how you made a decision to grow your business and to work out a new way to sell your art and try to make a go of it.
Well, my business is I've been an illustrator and a graphic designer for like 100 years.
You look very good.
I know. Good. And I have always done art. I was an illustrator. I've always done art. Mm-hmm. And I was an artist in residence at Trailwood Sanctuary, where I now live as a caretaker. And while I was there, I got inspired looking at old cemetery gravestones from the 18th century. And I'd, for years, had this idea in my head that I'm going to make these into color. What would they look like in color, right? Like, that would be really fun. So I started doing that while I was there, and now I have all these, I think they're beautiful and brightly colored images of grave carvers' work from the 18th century, and what do I do with them? Because now I need to share them with people.
Of course.
And I had put a few online. I had talked to people. I got offered to have some gallery space in Putnam, which was lovely. Silver Circle, I had a wonderful show there. Nice show there. And the Putnam Community Center, I also had a show there. That was great. So I've had really great support from the Putnam arts community, even though I'm not actually in Putnam. And when I knew about the festival last year because I attended, as an attendee, it was a really great event. I really encourage people to go. You can walk along the river walk and get lunch later, and all the vendors were so excited to be there, and it had just such great energy, and I thought it was awesome when I was there. So I'm like, maybe I should do it. Maybe I could set up a booth and I could sell my own work there. So I've bought the tent, and I've ordered prints, and I've been framing my gravestone heads. So if anyone's interested in seeing what 18th century art looks like turned into bright colors, come and see me at booth number 1.
That's auspicious.
Easy one.
It's an easy one, yeah.
Well, good luck. It's nice to see people on their path, and then you get to do different shows and try to build up more awareness.
I am hoping so. It depends on the interest of people in 18th century gravestone art.
Sure. And if people want to see pictures of Laura's work, you can go on our website, the Putnam CT Arts Council. .com, and we have a list of all the artists that are going to be at the show on our webpage there, and you can find a link to Laura's portfolio. They're on the website too, if you want to take a little sneak peek of what you might find at the art show.
Many artists are really using their websites as a critical tool now for keeping people connected between shows, when they have new pieces, how to go to other, maybe, you have a regional arts council will have members or have a gallery show, different opportunities.
So I have recently joined the Northeast Arts Guild, and my first meeting will be tomorrow night. So that's another great group that encourages the arts in our area.
So when you say Northeast, where are they based? What town do you?
Putnam.
Putnam. All right.
Putnam.
Mm-hmm.
But they have artists that are from the surrounding towns.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I want to do, too, is give David a chance to tip the hat and help, acknowledge any sponsors or people that are working behind the scenes to do a lot of work to make this a fun day.
Yes, of course.
A fun 2 days, I should say. Right.
Yes. No, I really appreciate that. Of course, these kind of events often couldn't happen without our sponsor, and we have a few of our major sponsors, so that we're really thankful to have. We have 2 returning sponsors from last year, the Putnam Area Foundation and the Burns Agency, and then one new major sponsor, that's Bank Hometown. So we're really thankful for them to be providing support to in the lead up to the festival for our advertising and setup costs and everything like that. We really couldn't be doing that without them. And then 2 other organizations that are going to be our demonstrating sponsors. So one of those is Art Guild Northeast that Laura has just joined. They'll be there at the show as both a sponsor and a group of demonstrating artists. And the other is Sawmill Pottery. So the community at Sawmill Pottery in Putnam, Connecticut, they are both sponsoring our event and going to do some wheel throwing and demonstrating there, as well as those both artist groups will be selling some work too.
Right. Now, you've been, with the council 3 years, a couple of years as their chair, but I wondered if you could take a minute or two and talk about what people do on a council like this throughout the year, in between events, that are making things more supportive for individuals or for the public to learn what art is out there that they don't even know is in their neighborhood, and how to help artists reach others. How do you keep that thing going all year long?
Sure. There's almost too much to do, right? We try to set up, this arts festival is our major event, so we're, pretty much thinking about it throughout the whole year, right. Whether that's, that's most of our agenda at our meetings, or, just a little snippet of getting things started. We do some other events throughout the year, like the last time I was on, we were about to have our art heist, and so that comes in as well. But as you're asking, we would... Part of the discussions that we're often having, both in meeting and as individuals outside of the meeting, is how we can really help our community, whether that is individual artists or arts organizations, or what we can better do to really promote art and get more people to understand how art is such an economic booster and force, and especially northeastern Connecticut. So we're often talking about that in meetings. We have a meeting once a month at least. It's open to the public, so if you're ever interested, you can find about that on the Town of Putnam website. But exactly how we go about that kind of changes year to year. We've done art projects in years past, often before my time, but then we also will start putting out some small scholarships and grant opportunities, both for local students, are what the scholarships are for, to help their artistic growth, and then small grant opportunities for some arts-based businesses in Putnam to try to help grow their businesses and give back to the community in some ways. But we're always open for new ideas. I think the best way for us to find out how we can currently help our arts community is to talk to our arts community. And I think that's a lot of what we're trying to do in both our Arts Council and, as you said, later Key is coming from the Cultural Coalition. I've had many meetings with them, and that's often what we're trying to discuss with them too, is how we can to all work together to really kind of continue the growth of our sector.
Yeah, the Cultural Coalition serving southeastern and northeastern Connecticut is one of a handful of designated regional service organizations that the state uses to support arts at the local levels. And, we'll be talking to Key in a few minutes about Make Music Day, but I've had many people on from the coalition in recent years talking about their projects to do the same thing, to help groups like you in Putnam foster, to maintain, to help you find funding opportunities, and to help you connect to each other. So it's really a kind of a growing network, and having you folks on the radio and YouTube helps you to get to know each other, and the public gets to know you. That's the whole idea. One show at a time.
That's it.
There it is.
Small steps.
Thanks for coming today, for driving down. I wish you a great event. Again, that's June 22nd and 23rd in Putnam, and the website to go to is putnamctartscouncil.com, and you can follow them all year long. So thanks again, David and Laura.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Also, we're going to have Laura back in the fall. There's a special program that they're doing that we'll talk about later. They have another music program. So we'll take a short break for some messages and come back with the Cultural Coalition. Stay with us. All righty, we're back on the home front here. For the third part of our show, we're going to continue our coverage of live poetry in Connecticut. We're going to take a look at some poetry at Roseland Cottage, and the series at the Vanilla Bean will continue in Pomfret. So we'll talk about that a little bit later with Karen Warinsky. But right now, I'm very happy to share the studio with Kia Baird. She is the Outreach and Community Impact Coordinator at the Cultural Coalition serving southeastern and northeastern Connecticut. This is her first studio visit, so welcome to the house.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And the reason why we have Kia here today is Make Music Day, which we mentioned briefly before. It's a global celebration of music in a very unusual way that has nothing to do with concert halls or clubs, for that matter, right?
Very true, yeah.
So tell us and testify. Make Music Day.
Sure. So Make Music Day is on the summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year. So we know it's going to be great weather. It's going to be wonderful. But Make Music Day started as Fête de la Musique in France about 42 years ago.
That's right.
And it is a holiday where folks all over their city, all over the country, make music. And about 7 years ago, the idea of Make Music Day came to Connecticut. So this is our 7th year doing it here in Connecticut.
Right.
And it is a day of free public music making. So you can, it's not only for musicians, professional musicians, it's for anyone. So you may walk down the street and see a drum circle or someone teaching you how to play harmonica. We've got a very cool program called Flower Pot Music, where kids take flower pots and mallets and they make music with that. Some of the libraries participate in that way, and it's meant for everyone to participate.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea is your front yard, a parking lot, the side of a store somewhere.
Absolutely.
Where you would never normally think music would be, and that's the idea. And you can go to a website to find out all the events, how to plan your day to travel around different areas, and see all these people who have this unusual opportunity, people who might not normally be musicians, quote unquote, but they're experimenting, and that's part of the fun, right?
Absolutely. That's what makes it so much fun. We have ukulele circles. I've got a barbershop quartet that makes their way all over the region performing. And in New London, Caruso Music will have a piano outside. So as passerbys can play piano. It's just a really cool day where everybody gets to participate. All the performances are free. And to your point, they might be on a porch. They might be on the lawn of a local library or museum. But we want everyone to get involved.
Some people do it at library areas. I think you mentioned 75 performances.
Yes,
right?
yes. So far we have 75 performances, and they're still counting. We're working on the website right now, just updating all the performances, and they're for musicians. There's still a few slots open that folks can sign up.
Oh, wonderful.
To play, yeah.
So it's makemusicday.org, and then you pick on Eastern Connecticut and you get our area, makemusicday.org, and you'll see stuff from all over the world that people have put in previous years.
Yes.
Do you have any particular thoughts about how it went last year? Any things that kind of hit you hard?
Yeah, so, I mean, every year for me, Make Music Day is fun. I actually get up in the morning and then I take my map and I go from one location to another. What is unique or exciting about this year is that it's on a Friday. So it's on a Friday. Lots of restaurants are participating. We can go pretty late in the evening because it's Friday. So we're very excited about that. So there's music from 9 a.m. to probably about 11. In Norwich specifically, there's going to be salsa lessons that are going late into the evening. So it's going to be a full day of music. It's awesome.
Get a full tank of gas.
Yeah. Yes. And also walk around, right? Definitely also walk around, come into the towns and stroll. Old Lyme does a music stroll where that whole main street, and to your point about front lawns, front porches, so there's music all down the main street.
What kind of Christmas carol?
Lime Street. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
That's really sweet. So it's all over the area, makemusicday.org. But the coalition is here throughout the year. They're a major resource for the arts community covering all of the Eastern region. Maybe you could mention while we have some time some of the things that you do to help people grow. One of them you said is Culture Connects events.
Culture Connects.
Special gatherings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my role at the Cultural Coalition is outreach. My hope is to make sure that all folks that are either working in the cultural sector or are artists, musicians, know that there are resources. So I kind of refer to the Cultural Coalition as like a chamber of commerce for the arts. So we have programs like our Funding Booster program that helps folks if they need to apply for grants or apply for sponsorships. But we also do these cultural events that we call Cultural Connects that are just meet and greets for folks. So an opportunity to get people in the room together and to have conversation and to build relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you're starting out as an artist, networking is so important to meet other friends, new peers, resources you don't even know about that could help you on your financial path. And there's a calendar system they have that they've upgraded called CORE, which is the calendar of regional events. And it's a way to get everybody aware of each other over a huge area.
Absolutely.
How is that working, and how can that help people when it's so hard to promote your own events these days?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Then it seems like there's so many things going on.
Yeah.
But the core calendar is something that we've partnered with other regional partners for a while. But just this month, I believe, we've upgraded the calendar. So it's sleek, it's new, it's easy to use, it's user-friendly, and it is just a calendar of events. So if you have an event going on, a cultural event, you can go onto the core calendar, upload your event, upload pictures, and then that way, when you have one of those days and you're like, what am I going to do this weekend? Folks can go on the core calendar and see all of the events that are happening regionally.
And sometimes you'll hear about an event like 3 days afterward. And it's very painful because people work hard for that.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't have a huge media budget, and they're doing good things.
Right.
That's kind of a double bind.
Yeah. So go on to the a patron of the arts, go onto the arts calendar, regional calendar often to see the events, because you're right, it is, we put so much effort into, as you heard from the last guest, you put so much effort into planning these events. You want to make sure that folks know about them and they attend and enjoy them.
That's right. And something else they do is help individuals on their personal path. There is a directory that they have that helps you post your information so people can learn about you, and you can find partners maybe in your area. It's easy to get involved. And can you talk about what people will do with the information once they get in the directory and people know about you?
Right, yeah.
Because so many people are still isolated.
Yeah, thank you for that. Our directory, so when you go on to the Culture SECT website, you can become a partner with us. And what that means is that you have access to our funding booster, to the core calendar, to this directory, where you could find a venue or a gallery if you're looking to show your work, or find a theater if you're looking to perform, but also connect with other artists, connect with other organizations as well. So yes, the directory is very helpful.
Yeah. Now, you've been involved for a long time with the arts and in other organizations. What do you think the role in the larger economy is? Through the coalition, people are still learning how the small amount of money they spend in these arts events is leveraged and multiplied. That keeps the whole system healthy.
Absolutely.
It's all small things unless somebody hits Powerball one day.
Yeah.
Right? I
Me,
know,
hopefully.
right.
Hopefully.
Well, we'll have you on the show right away.
Okay. I'm not telling if I win.
Keep that private. But the idea is all this is incremental, though.
For sure, absolutely. And I think that we learned, unfortunately, during the pandemic, that arts really drives business, right? Arts drives the economy. And as you see with any of our small towns in Connecticut or some of the bigger cities, that the things that bring people into restaurants, the things that bring people into your hotels, these are arts events that are happening, right? That really get folks engaged in community, and all of that drives our economy. It boosts our economy, and it's dollars right back into our neighborhoods.
Right. So, they're planting seeds, they're helping people that are kind of already growing to get bigger at different levels.
Yes.
And I also want to mention, too, that we have people back from the coalition occasionally with special events, and some of your organizational partners, the History Museum, the Connecticut Museums are partners.
Absolutely.
So it's a growing network.
Yes, absolutely. And we try to work from both the municipality level to, small individual artists. We want to make sure that we are reaching and creating resources for the whole region, regardless if you're working with an organization or if you're a hobbyist artist that's, got a studio in your basement.
Yeah. Because it's all good. Mm-hmm. When it comes to this art thing, it's all good.
It's all good. I like that.
Yeah. But thank you for coming for your first visit.
Thank you. This is lovely. Yes,
we'll look forward to having you back.
Absolutely. I'll be here.
All right. So once again, we had Kia Baird here today talking about Make Music Day on the solstice all day. At least 75 or more performances, so get out there. Mm-hmm. And the website, check it all out, makemusicday.org, and then search on Connecticut, and you'll be all set to go. I wish you super weather, and we'll look forward to having you back later in the summer.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, take care now. All righty, a short musical break, and we'll come back and talk about poetry. Don't go away. Welcome to On the Homefront. John Murphy here with you again. We're very happy to have you with us live on WILI AM 1400 and FM 95.3. We're also on WICH. We're starting, I believe, next week on Friday afternoons at 11 o'clock. We're very happy to be on a sister radio station for Hall Broadcasting. That will cover the Norwich, New London areas for us. And, of course, we're on YouTube. The WILI radio channel has many of our shows here permanently posted for you. In case you miss a show one week, you can always subscribe and get every show directly on your computer or phone whenever you like. Okay, I also want to mention, too, if you want to get involved, the show is always open for guests here. Use the email as john@humanartsmedia.com, and we can arrange to have you come in to share your story, or you can just send us information, and we're very happy to share your events in our listings calendars as well. So we're going to go back to poetry, one of my favorite things that we do throughout the year, and I'm very happy to share the studio again with Karen Warinsky. She is a writer and poet, and she's the curator and programmer for many of these series in the region. And she's been here before talking about about the Vanilla Bean series in Pomfret, and also coming up is a series they've been doing for a number of years at Roseland Cottage. So first of all, Karen, welcome back to the house.
Thank you, John. Happy to be here. I do want to just make one correction.
Yes.
It's not Roseland Cottage, it's Roseland Park.
I stand
So they are
corrected.
two distinct properties,
Yes.
and sometimes people do get confused and
Like
go
me.
to the cottage first.
There you
The
go.
cottage does a lot of things. They do concerts and
Yeah.
different things, but we're out at the park. And
Okay.
in
Well, I'll
the-
stand at the cottage and I'll steer people to the park there. I'll be there.
It's
'cause I'm gonna
probably
go.
it's probably a good mile from the house.
Okay.
So the park was created by the man who used to own Roseland Cottage, Henry Bowen,
Okay.
and he did that because he threw big 4th of July parties
Yep.
and invited a lot of luminaries, dignitaries, politicians, and it outgrew, the party outgrew the house. So that's how that all came about. But yeah, we're in the barn. It's very comfortable, very cool. We just have to look out for the Woodstock bear that's been tramping around up there. But yeah, we have Father's Day event. So the Roseland Park events are free, and we're just doing 2 this year. And so the one on June 16th starts at 2 p.m., goes till about 4. And we have 3 featured poets. I'm one. A wonderful woman named Leah Deshane is a poet. She's living in Worcester, Mass. right now, and she has 13 chapbooks to her credit. She's probably in her 50s, so she's been working hard. She is a former member of 4 national poetry slam teams, and she used to coach that type of poetry also. She has a BA in theater and an MFA in poetry. She's been nominated for pushcart prizes.
Oh, my goodness.
Been in all kinds of contests, and her first full-length collection is called The Constant Velocity of Trains. It's available through Right Bloody Publishing, and her editorial debut is Knocking at the Door, and that's from Birch Bench Press. So she's going to be reading with us.
That's
And then,
fantastic.
yeah, it's fantastic. And then Howie Faerstien will also be, and he'll be wrapping up our featured readers. And then, of course, we do have the open mic also. So
Right. Again, this is Roseland Park, and it's June 16th. Now, we happen to have Howie on the phone right now. We arranged this ahead of time to have him share some of his work, so we'll maybe bring him in. Howie, welcome aboard. Nice to have you on the radio.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to be here. Hi, John. Hi, Karen.
hi.
Well, maybe you could share a few thoughts with kind of a preview of what you want to share with everybody on the 16th.
Well, I have 4 books, and I'll be reading from a couple of them. I'll have 15 minutes to read, so I'll pick a few, and maybe a new poem or 2. And I must say that today was a very crazy day because I lost my wallet. So I'm a little bit fachaded, if you know that
No,
word.
my condolences. My condolences. Yes.
Yeah, driver's license, credit card.
Oh, man.
But anyway, I'm okay. I'm fine. Tomorrow's my birthday, so I'll be 77, I think, and I'm looking forward to reading with Karen and Leah on Father's Day.
Okay, so you're on the end of Gemini, huh? On the back end.
Yeah, the cusp, is that it? No,
I'm May
13th.
27th, so we got that twin thing going. I think one of us has the
Oh,
wallet,
yes,
one of us
very
doesn't.
good.
I get that.
Hopefully that
The
wallet's
duality.
just misplaced.
Yeah.
But Howie, I'm just curious though. With 4 books finished, what's it like for you today, for artists and for writers, to get published, and how to reach the public in the best way? What's that been like for you?
Well, it was pretty difficult, I must say, but I really didn't. I had a couple of different careers. I've been writing since I was young, but I didn't really take it that seriously till I was in my 50s.
Okay.
I had my first book published 14 years ago.
Congratulations.
And I was lucky to get that book published. It was all because of connections I had made when I was living in Colorado at the time. And those folks knew a publisher, and they liked my work, and boom, and that's how it happened. And then the second book was also with that publisher. The third book became a little more difficult, and I found a press. I wasn't happy with it, but they did a book, and the 4th book has been out since I think last year, and that was because I knew a guy. So it has a lot to do with friends, connections, and things like that, and luck.
And luck.
And luck. I mean, I've been sending my work out for 25 years, and I've got plenty of rejections and a few acceptances.
Of course.
And when you get the rejection, you just get on the internet and send the work out to another place.
It's like any art form. You just keep plugging away.
You have to have a thick skin. You have to be able to take all that kind of stuff.
Now, Karen, you're helping a lot of writers get out. What's the like for other writers these days in terms of the internet or the telephone is a new way or a Substack? How is it working in general?
Yeah, I think people are using everything. They're using blogs. They post their own, create their own posts, create their own blogs. It's hard. I had a friend who has a regular book published, and I asked him to help me, and what I found out is a lot of these major publishing houses like Penguin and Random House, they just don't deal with poetry. It's not a moneymaker. So you have to go to the smaller publishers. And even if it is a major house, I went to a conference not too long ago, the AWP conference. It was in Philadelphia 2 years ago, and one of the new writers on the scene, and I can't think of her name right now, but she said she'd had big luck, got her book accepted, but they told her point blank, you have to do your own publicity. We can help you a little, but this is on you. Wow. So that's no different than what Howie and I are doing, or Leah, where you're just with a smaller press and you're doing it yourself. So, it's not a money maker. It's a niche. And don't you find that to be true, Howie? It's kind of
absolutely.
It's a rarefied group
you
that
have
really
to make your own way. You can't depend on someone else to do it for you. You have to do the publicity. You have to contact people if there's a reading coming up, and you can't you can't sit back if you want to have an audience. If you want people to come to a reading.
Yeah, and I find that I get frustrated. I haven't written in a while. I've been doing a lot of publicity. So
you have been working it hard.
Right, and so I really need some time to, I have all these ideas jotted down. I haven't had time to flesh them out. So maybe this summer I'll have time to write.
Well, I wonder, like we're doing a radio show now. This thing's going to be on YouTube. But in general, do you get other media in other places too? Howie, do you get other people in media trying to give you a shot to get out there as well?
Well, on March 1st, I had a wonderful reading at the Walt Whitman birthplace in Long Island.
Wow.
And they gave me a half hour, and there was a whole crowd. That's nice. And they paid me, which was amazing.
Congratulations.
They gave me a decent amount of money, too. I was, shocked. And it was because I knew a guy who was connected with the Walt Whitman House who knew my work, and he gave me a shot. Howie, you want to do this? Yeah. Sure. Put me down. It was a long trip from Western Massachusetts to get to Long Island, but
maybe a ferry ride, right? A nice ferry ride.
Well, and I think I met Howie at one of Paul Richmond's events, and he's in the Greenfield area. I think that's how I met you. And then Howie contacted me via email to see if he could be in my series, and I looked at his stuff and said,
reached out to you.
Right, he reached out to me. So I think that you can find poets. That's not a problem.
Yep.
The poets are out there, and they need venues. So like you were asking, we try to set up things in a cafe, at a park, at a community center, senior citizen centers, any place, really,
Yeah. Great guy Jim Finnegan posts everything in the universe. If you get onto Jim Finnegan's list, you can learn about everything.
Yeah, I access his list too. And the Vanilla Bean is great because Barry Jesserin creates every 3 months a little. It's almost like a magazine, but it's really a newsletter, and he sends it out to his email list, which is vast, and then he distributes those all around too. So you have to do everything.
Yeah. In fact, speaking of the Vanilla Bean, maybe we should mention that good news while we have time, because a lot of our good work, Barry's extended this and they've continued this series, which is good news for you too.
Yeah, that's great. So we will have one more reading, free reading at Roseland Park in September.
Right.
And that's going to be September 15th, and that will be with the Connecticut State Poet Laureate Antoinette Brim Bell, who came last year too to read for us. She's fantastic. So I want to have people put that on their calendar. But we were approved to come back for the fall at the Vanilla Bean. Those are the last Saturday night of the month. So September 28th, October 26th, November 23rd, 7 p.m. And I will come, month by month to give you the details on that. But that's the tease.
Yeah.
So that's happening in the fall.
It's been really nice because also younger people are coming into poetry now. The whole slam thing, I think, is fabulous. Just the energy
Yes.
it's brought a lot of young people. And Howie, are you a slammer on the on the QT? Do you slam?
No, I'm not a slammer.
Not
no.
a slammer.
But I
just a bad
appreciate
joke.
it.
Yeah.
I'm not a slammer. There aren't too many 77-year-olds who slam.
Well, see, that's new territory, Howie. That's new territory.
Yeah.
There you
Virgin
go.
territory.
But I do have a question.
And we have that young woman who gave the poem at the inaugural.
Yes.
She brought a lot of young people with her
Oh, yeah.
when she
Yeah.
appeared. Throughout the whole country, everybody saw her.
Yeah.
And
She has
has
quite a
book.
presence.
She has a new book out now, I think. Yes.
For a young person, she
Did-
has big steps.
Did he bring anything to read for us? Or?
Do you have something to share? A little taste, Howie?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I thought I'd read a pretty old poem that I used to read at the beginning of a reading.
Okay.
And it's called Taking a Chance on Love. And it has an epigram from Louis Armstrong. Man, I was riffing today. I don't want you taken in. I don't want to take it or leave it. I don't want you to take me lightly. I want to take you for a ride through the Lower East Side to a ball game in Fenway, and later that night, Madison Square, then for hotcakes in a diner in San Rafael. I want to take you seriously. I want you to take me to heart. I want to take you where mountain laurel blooms, monarchs gather, bats start. I want to take you on the B65 downtown bus, get off on Gates, turn down Fulton. I want to take you to Notre Dame's Lost and Found, to a minimalist exhibit in a Maximum museum. I want you to take it to the bank. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want to take you in the market at St. Jean de Luz, in Quaker Cemetery in Prospect Park. I don't want to be taken to the cleaners. I never want to take you for granted. I want to take you to La Jolla tide pools, all the places we've never been, all the bad parts of town.
That's lovely. Snaps.
I'm snapping, Howie.
You know what I have to have? I have to have pre-recorded applause
There you
that
go.
Matt can hit on cue like Howard Stern does with the
That was
applause.
fantastic.
Okay.
That was great.
That
Well,
was
I
very
can hear the applause, even if I don't hear it.
Very sweet. There's like City Lights is in that one. I like that City Lights.
Howie, what book is that poem appearing in?
That's from the first book I had published, which is called Dreaming of the Rain in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn for 50 years before I escaped.
Well, I was born in Yonkers, so we got the same water supply.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's it, Howie. All righty. Well, I wish you great weather and everything coming up here. This is June 16th at Roseland Park, 2 to 4. Do you want to mention a website, Karen? People can follow your work and your writing as well. If you want to follow Karen's also.
Yeah, let me
lots
just,
of good work.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me just say, too, like there's Poets at Large website is where you can find all the information about the events that I help put on.
Right.
And then Woodstock, Roseland Park itself has a website that also, when things are coming up, publishes. But if you want to just see what I'm up to, go to KAREN.WARINSKY at WordPress.com. I also have an Instagram and a Facebook page, so you can find me plenty of ways.
Great.
I also want to mention,
Yeah,
we're
please.
doing, all dads who come to this poetry show on Sunday will be entered into a raffle for a book and a second free prize that I won't disclose until Sunday. So that should tantalize you. I mean, when have you gone to a poetry reading, Dad, on Sunday, Father's Day? Never. So it's time for you to do it.
I'm shocked by such pandering. I'm shocked.
Great.
That's excellent. Dad needs a book. Dad needs to slow down and read once in a while. Dad, take a break once in a while. Well, Howie, thanks for joining us today. I wish you a great time here at the Roseland, and good luck on your work in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. And Karen, thanks for your good work. It's been a pleasure to share the studio here all summer, and we'll continue. We'll have Karen back. The program's there again September, October, and November at the Vanilla Bean. So thanks again so much.
Thank you, John.
All righty. Now we have some more news to share. I got a couple of minutes before we close. Speaking of poetry, the Poetry in the Park series at the Julia de Burgos Park is beginning. They have a new season right here in Willimantic, a few blocks from this studio, and they're going to begin. It's on Thursdays, the last Thursday of the month, right? June, July, August, September, last Thursday each month. June 27th is Frederick Douglass Knowles II, and they'll also have a thing called the Curbstone Celebration. These events are all at 6:30, and they're all at the park at the corner of Curbstone Way and Jackson Street in the heart of downtown Willimantic. And just go to, I guess the best thing is to go Poetry in the Park 2024, and we'll try to get some of these writers in the house as well, some downtown. I also got a message, someone's doing some poetry at Hops 44, up in Mansfield at Four Corners. They just started recently, and we'll try to get them on as well, because poetry and the spoken word is popping up all around us, and it's really nice to see that. And we'll look forward to having people on all year long with that. Alrighty, so I guess we're going to wrap it up now. I want to thank you very much. If you want to get involved, just send us an email. We'll be happy to have you in the house. John at humanartsmedia.com. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.